All right, boys. Well, there was some soccer that was played this weekend, but really, I think the news of the week was all the controversy that happened in sport. The FA canceling football matches left, right, and center. UEFA can't figure out how to draw teams for a knockout stage competition, and the FIA gave Max Verstappen a world championship in F1. But this is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're tuning in from. Thanks for listening. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. Up top with me is Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below, eating a disgusting, abhorrent, nasty pickle is Sean. He supports Tottenham, though I'm not even sure that's a real football club anymore because I haven't seen them play. Okay, so he's got a pickle, and now he's chugging his Red Bull. Maybe Sean can tell us about that Red Bull here in a little bit. But
can we talk about how his pop filter blocked out all of the sound from the pickle?
Oh no!
And then from the Red Bull.
Yeah, everything.
Hold on.
There we go.
Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Now this is just getting awkward. But yeah. So before we really dig into what we've got for you tonight, I would love it if you're new here, you're listening to three clowns make jokes about pickles and Red Bull. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, follow us, give us 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening to. Leave us a comment, because your comments are what we talk about, and that pickle is a kind of, I wouldn't say it's a running joke, but it's definitely something that we're going to talk about here in about 30 seconds, because some of our commenters have some significant opinions about pickles.
They're all wrong.
But yeah, so that if you could do all those things, rate us 5-star on Apple Podcast or iTunes, whatever you got, we would really appreciate it. And we definitely wouldn't want anything to befall you or any kind of inconvenience to come into your life. Yeah, isn't that right, Sean?
Yeah, because if you do not rate, subscribe, rate, review, subscribe, drop a follow button, then what's going to happen to you is your microwave is not going to be up to par. It's not going to be on the same level of intensity. So you're going to have to adjust all of your microwave times to a lower power microwave.
Oh no. So it's like food's rated for 1,000 watt microwave, and you only got an 800 watt microwave.
800. And you got to do math of all right, I need 25% more time.
I couldn't.
You don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen.
You end up with either a frozen glacier hot pocket or a burning lava hot pocket, and then you screwed either way.
I think I'm going to go resubscribe just to make sure this doesn't happen.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, unsubscribe and resubscribe. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just
don't do that. Just create a new account.
Go to your girlfriend or your wife or your boyfriend or your husband, or get on their computer and subscribe that way. Steal their iPhone.
You don't want to have to microwave Hot Pockets for 3 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yeah, that'd be tough. So we would really appreciate if you guys did that for us. So what we have for you guys tonight, what we got going on this evening, of course, as always, we're going to hit those comments from last week. We're going to talk about the results in match weeks 16 and about, I would say 80% of match week 17, but we have had some games postponed, so that reduces the percentages a little bit. And then we'll look forward to match week 18 coming up at the weekend, and the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, Carling Cup, whatever you're calling it, depending on when you started watching football. That cup. We've got the quarterfinals of those next midweek, so we'll hit on that. Before we're out, we'll talk a little bit of Champions League, because we did have the draw and the redraw. So the UEFA corruption is, on full blast.
So on point.
But yeah, so we're gonna hit some comments real quick. First and foremost, so this pickle conversation, it stems from the fact that I think Brad and Sean had a bet about something. I don't know what it was, but the outcome of that bet was Brad was supposed to eat a pickle.
It was the Chelsea points. I still owe the
that's right.
listeners a pickle.
Yes, because Chelsea were supposed to amass
16
points over 6 games or something like that.
Yeah, we had 15. Yeah.
So you were wrong.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. You were wrong, and Sean and I were right. And so your punishment was supposed to be to eat a pickle, but Brad's been going on a pickle strike because pickles are hot, flaming piles of garbage, which is why it was a useful bet against you, Brad, because you don't like pickles.
Yes.
And so it keeps coming up, and we've had quite a bit of people sounding off in the comments. So we've got.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you guys over the sound of crunching pickles. What was going on?
Take your desecrated cucumber and get out of here. But we have two opinions on pickles right now. So we have Brett and Jimmy, who are both anti-pickle. They are pickles are trash crowd. Now Kate says not all pickles are trash. But bread and butter pickles are flaming piles of garbage.
I agree with her.
So you're a pickle connoisseur, Sean. So
So the bread and butter pickles terrible?
Yeah, they're like sweet. Yeah, they're like you don't get the pickle flavor. I want the pickle flavor.
There was one night I was out at the bar with some friends, and someone ordered a round of whiskey for the group, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I like whiskey." And then he ordered a chaser of Mountain Dew, is what he told us it was. But yes, to your point, Sean, it was not a Mountain Dew. It was a pickleback. And I drank my whiskey. I enjoyed it. I think it was just like Jack. So it was like nothing serious. So I could drink it. And then I was like, not really into Mountain Dew that much, but I'll have a sip. That shit was pickle juice. And I was incensed. I cannot. It was Chucky Davis. If you're listening to this, I remember that. And I will never forget. Downtown Roanoke.
Chucky Davis. We owe you a beer for that one. You're a real hero here. He's chug pickle juice. That's amazing.
He's out there saving lives, I think, in Ohio and West Virginia. He's a pediatrician and doing good work. But yeah, so those are the two comments, or the three comments technically, about pickles. Jimmy had another comment for you, Sean, though. He
well, before we do that,
okay.
Can I as you read Jimmy's comment?
Sure.
Can I show you guys how big of a pickle jar I had to buy to get one singular pickle for this podcast?
I would like to see it. I have another pickle joke, another pickle story I could bring up while you're getting that. Every year, my wife's office has a Christmas party, and it's like we do like a gift exchange game. Everyone, some people call it like a white elephant game, or whatever. So like there's like everyone brings a gift, and it's like a cheap gift, and then it's wrapped up. Yeah, okay, there we go. This is my story. One year, I don't like pickles, so I bought a jar of pickles that was that size, and I wrapped it up. And for the last 4 years at this Christmas party, that giant jar of pickles has been coming back. It's now almost a year and a half out of date. And I told the person who took the pickle jar home this year that they have to bring it back next year. It's now a staple at this Christmas party.
Wow.
But it's serious business.
What happens when you end up with the pickle jar?
I put it in my garage and I bring it back to the next Christmas party in a year.
I think you have to eat one.
No.
Oh, they're out of date now.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
This pickle jar, for those not watching on YouTube, this pickle jar is bigger than my face.
It's one of those pickle jars.
Massive.
So here we go. Sean, I wanted your reaction on this because Jimmy's point. He says, Sean.
Hold on.
I know. I see him. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna let him come back into the frame, and then I'll finish it because he can hear everything that we're saying. He just can't respond because he's away from his
microphone. We want to see that facial reaction for our YouTube listeners, and then we will describe it for our podcast listeners.
So Sean looks a lot better when he wears his LSU gear and not his garbage Clemson stuff. What say you, Sean?
That Jimmy clearly hasn't been watching YouTube to own any LSU gear.
So you own no LSU gear?
No. I don't know if Jimmy's aware of this, but Clemson's colors are purple and orange.
Oh, so is your claim that your purple stuff is just Clemson stuff?
Yeah,
now,
why?
Jimmy's the type of person that's going to scour through our content and figure out why he claimed this. Okay, you're stupid. Moving on. We're going to Will's comments. So his first comment's about the concussion substitutes. I would imagine that this must have come up in Italy this week because he watches mostly Italian football, or did it happen in England? But
it happened in England.
So apparently there was a concussion substitution. Now, so this is a rule that just came in place that
like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, that you can make a substitution if if there's a concern about concussion for that player.
And it doesn't count against your 3.
And it doesn't count against your allocation of substitutes. I've never personally, I don't remember ever seeing it in an Arsenal game or in any English games that I've watched. But he also wants to know what our opinions are of it. How do you feel about it, Brad? Good rule, bad rule, don't care?
I'm for it.
Okay.
I don't look like if a concussion, if we're doing brain injuries and we're to take them seriously, right? And you're to be out of the game, then your team should not be punished.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
And I think there needs to be an assessment done to make sure it is a concussion because team, so it's not abused. But I am 100% for the protection of players.
So how would you, but the problem is like, if there's a genuine fear for concussion, then like, that's all that really matters, right? Is that there's a genuine fear for concussion, then you make that sub. So like, and even if it turns out that there's not a concussion, there is still a genuine fear. So like, it doesn't seem to me that it would be rife with abuse. Like, I think that there might be abused situations like every now and then, but it seems to me that it would be very, very far. Like, it wouldn't happen very frequently that the situation would be abused.
Right. But enough safeguards in there so that it isn't something that can happen more regularly.
That's fair.
It's really hard to fake a concussion.
True.
I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. And the test isn't hard. The NFL has had a test for years. They've been doing the concussion protocols. The
NFL has third party doctors that make those calls, right? But the thing about about soccer compared to other sports is that substitutions are permanent in soccer, and you're only allowed 3 or 5 depending on the league that you're playing in. So like, substitutions matter so much more in soccer than they do in American football, because in a individual between plays on American football, like, you're making multiple substitutions generally. So since you have a fluid substitution system, it's a lot easier to have that third party be like, okay, you're out. But could you imagine, Brad, if a third party doctor yanked Eduardo Mendy like 25 minutes into a game, and like you're stuck with Kepa for the rest of the game in like the second leg of a Champions League knockout stage, like you're in the semifinals, you're in the quarterfinals or something like that, and the third party doctor yanks Mendy out, and the substitution's permanent. He can't, like, you're just stuck with Kepa.
But I see your point. But would I want concussed Mendy?
No,
in the net with Kepa or instead of Kepa?
Of course not. But like, what, like the NFL has a super quick trigger.
And I think if we're not doing third party doctors, right? I think the safeguard is that concussion pullouts. Like, if the team decides that you got to go because of the concussion, you don't get to play the next game. If you're not using the substitute, right? If it's outside of the 3, that person has to sit the next game. Oh. I think that solves the problem.
Okay.
Better than a third-party doctor.
Interesting.
Because then you're not going to abuse it, right? Because it's the 85th minute, and you need to get a striker on, so somebody pretends to have a concussion.
Yeah.
So you can get somebody on.
Okay.
That person just can't play the next game. The concussed person can't play. So
it's like a forced rest game.
Correct.
Interesting.
Which probably should happen anyways if you have a concussion. Like,
yeah,
medically, you can't play 3 days later and have somebody hit your head or have a ball hit your head. That's just silly.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it. I don't
never heard that before, but that would be an interesting thing to study.
I just think like a scenario, not that these are the same things, but like a scenario with Christian Eriksen, like I don't really remember specifically what happened, but should Denmark have been charged a substitution to sub out Christian Eriksen? No.
Yeah, like, that's tough.
That's tough. So I think the same scenario applies.
But that's kind of like the nature of football, is that like if somebody gets injured, they come off. That's one of your substitutes. If somebody gets injured and you've used all of your substitutes, that's unfortunate, but like that happens in football. It happens infrequently, but it does happen. We've all seen like pictures of the defender putting on the goalie jersey and the goalie gloves to play in goal.
Harry
John
Kane.
Terry.
Yeah, I'm thinking John Terry famously did it.
Harry Kane tried to defend a penalty when Lloris went on tough.
Oh wow!
Look,
And I said it that way because he did not successfully
tried to
defend.
Yeah, I was the backup goalkeeper for FC McCrary, and I played forward for us. So
Harry Kane did the Sean Sudbury impression where he thought he could save it.
Listen,
Hey Jimmy, can we rerun those numbers for Jorginho? Oh, we'll get to that. I'm sorry, we'll get to that.
Wow, this man is flexing on double penalty beating Leeds. Leeds that just got slapped 7-0 by City. He's flexing. He's flexing 2 penalties. Wow. Okay.
He's softening him up.
Okay. Yeah, sure, Brad. All right. Will's next comment is regarding the Champions League. And going into Russia in December is never easy, which is why he was saying a couple match days back, to not take a favorable result for granted. But Chelsea handled their business before going to Russia, so it didn't matter. But then he turns his attention to the draw, and he says he brings up a draw that happened a couple years ago, where before they do the official draw, they do like a dry run, and so UEFA did the dry run, and then when they did the official draw and the dry run were exactly the same. And so you're scratching it. So to set this up for you guys, if you're not aware, UEFA had their draw for the round of 16 this week, and they had a draw. And then it came out that there were irregularities with it like 30 minutes later. And then an hour afterwards or something, they announced that they were going to redraw everything. Apparently, a team made it into the pot that wasn't supposed to be eligible. And so they got taken out of the pot, but never got put back into the pot. Yeah, it was Manchester United, but it doesn't matter. And so it's funny. That they screwed this up so bad. So the original draw had PSG and Manchester United matched up against each other.
No, but PSG Madrid, it had United with Atleti, and everybody wanted to see PSG Madrid. PSG Madrid was the first one. Oh wait, no, that's the second version.
The original
draw was PSG United.
Yeah.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, but United won their group and PSG won their group. So they shouldn't have been in the same pot.
Yeah, right? It's because they drew somebody, and then the next one they drew was United, and United weren't supposed to be in the pot, so they took United out of the pot, drew again, but they never put United back into the pot. So then United were excluded from certain possibilities where they could have been drawn. Anyway, the draw ended out like this. So quick rundown for the draw for you guys. So Salzburg is playing Bayern. Sporting is playing City. Benfica is playing Ajax. Chelsea has Lille. Atletico Madrid playing United. Villarreal are playing Juventus. Inter are playing Liverpool, and PSG are playing Real Madrid. What's your gut feeling on that, Brad?
It was the same draw as the first time for Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Our best possible outcome. So we only had 4 teams we could play. Lille, Ajax, Real.
Ajax, Bayern,
whatever,
Lille,
and Bayern.
Yeah, so Ajax, Bayern, and Lille,
and Madrid, Real.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. So that's
we had the best possible outcome both times.
Yes. Well,
United tried to mess us up, and it didn't work.
You either wanted Ajax or Lille, and
right, but Lille is a dumpster fire right now. I believe they are in the bottom half. They're doing worse than Tottenham or Arsenal.
Okay, buddy.
We'll look at the table. We'll see how worse Arsenal is doing, Brad.
Yeah, 11th.
So, but yeah, that's how the draw broke down for the Champions League. That's all we're going to talk about the Champions League for tonight, because we don't need to worry about the Champions League until February. And then Sean, this is Will's most important comment that he made. He said, "This is 2 parts. The first part is, should be a spicy Formula One segment coming up today." And then he also brings up the World Chess Championship. So shout out to Jan for putting up a good fight against Magnus and conducting himself so professionally with the press during the World Chess Championship. Shame he couldn't recover from the classic Game 6. But Magnus is saying that he might not defend the title, so maybe he'll be able to give it another shot. Couple things to break down there. We're going to talk World Chess Championship first before we talk about F1. So World Chess Championship, Magnus Carlsen is the 5-time reigning World Chess Champion. He beat Jan. I'm just going to say Jan. I'm just going to say Jan.
No, go ahead.
Nepo.
Yeah,
Just
Nepo is
Nepo.
how. I think it's Nepo Nianchi, something like that. It's Russian. I don't know. Anyway, he beat Jan 7-5, 3-5. Essentially, Jan had a blunder in Game 6 and just never recovered. Seemed like he kind of gave away Game 11. He needed to pick up 3 games going into Game 11, and it looked like he kind of seemed like he threw Game 11 because he didn't want to keep going. It's what it seemed like. But yeah, so that's. I know you guys are big chess players. Were you guys paid attention to the World Chess Championship?
Other than keeping up with it, I was not.
I always try to watch a little bit of that. Magnus is amazing.
Magnus is a beast.
Oh my gosh. He took that Game 6 and just ran with it.
Yeah.
Normally what Magnus does is the past couple have been kind of boring because it was like 14 straight draws or 10 straight draws to get to Blitz, which is where Magnus is even like more of a prodigy, is his Blitz and his like Armageddon chess. So to see him actually play classic chess that well, I think one of the games between him and Jan was like the most perfect game played by humans ever.
Well, they played one game that was like the longest game ever played in the World Chess Championship by moves.
Yeah.
Played like 170 moves or something like that. It was over 8 hours. It was close to 8-hour game. And of course,
I think that also was one of like the most perfect moves. Like they didn't make a mistake that entire game.
Yeah, but Magnus won that game.
No, sorry, it wasn't that game. It was it was either the game before. It was the game before that one that was the most perfect game played.
And it was a draw.
And it was a draw.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I like Magnus. He's funny on Twitter. He's a Real Madrid fan, so like that doesn't help him. But
and he does. I think he finished like 3rd in FPL last year for like full season points.
Oh, there was
bring him to Premier League.
Yeah, I don't remember where he finished last year.
Second,
but there was one.
There was the top 3.
There was one point where he was at like the top of the table, like globally. So
for a good amount of time.
I would say that like Magnus, I don't like, so I'll lead seamlessly into our next conversation.
Okay, tell us.
Magnus, I don't like Magnus because he plays the safe option and does it so seamlessly. He just easily wins and draws games. He does what he needs to win.
I disagree.
Sean, who do you like more? Magnus Carlsen or Lewis Hamilton?
Magnus.
Yeah?
Yeah, Magnus Carlsen.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, speaking of Sir Lewis, let's
sorry, I didn't properly address him.
Yeah, you need to put some respect on his name because that's Sir Lewis Hamilton. I don't know anything more than that. I don't know what's next. We're Americans. We don't do queens and knights and stuff.
We got a couple swords on his shoulder. Okay.
So, quick recap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix because we don't want to spend too much time on it. But Lewis Hamilton overtook Max Verstappen on turn from the start. Max Verstappen forced Lewis Hamilton off the course on turn 6, which allowed Lewis to take the lead. He drove through the curve or whatever it's called. I don't know. Got the lead. Didn't relinquish the lead until lap 58 after the race director had made a blunder of a safety car after misapplying the rules, not allowing 5 of the 8 lapped cars to unlap themselves and then pulling the safety car on the same lap, thus allowing Max Verstappen to be racing on the last lap against Lewis Hamilton on fresh soft tires, where Lewis had hard tires that he'd been racing for over 40 laps. So yeah, like the FIA basically handed Max the championship, right, Sean?
I just would like to know why you think cheating and cutting the course is acceptable.
Why do you think that almost crashing into someone's acceptable, Sean?
He had plenty of room.
That's called good racing. I don't know what happened, but that sounds like some good racing to me.
Sir Lewis was given space on the outside, and he was supposed to concede the spot. Max was ahead. That is what happens in Formula One.
Yeah, until Max was driving into Lewis. Lewis did what he had to do to protect his car. The stewards investigated it, found out that Lewis gave back any advantage that he had. That was a ridiculous claim. He certainly benefited from it.
Absolutely.
What are you doing? What are you doing, James? Why'd you admit that?
As soon as he went through the turn, he gunned it.
Oh, yeah, he crushed it.
Absolutely. Hammered the gas.
Oh, he's in that DRS zone a little bit early. I'm pushing that button.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he gunned it.
Like, live when I was watching it, I was like, what the F?
I'm sure you were watching it like, oh, he's gonna have to give that spot back anyway.
Yeah, and he's gone. Like at that point, like the lead's like a second and a half, which ends up pulling out to like 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So we in the pre just a little behind the scenes pre-pod, we were talking about the strategy of if you don't watch Formula One, Brad, if you don't watch Formula One.
IndyCars.
What basically happened is Max when you IndyCar when you do Q2. So there's 3 qualifying sessions. When you end Q2, whatever tires that you are on, you have to use at the start of the race. So what happened was Max put it in his qualifying run, and then scorched the tires. He got a flat spot on it because he locked them up. And he couldn't use them. So they had to rush him back into the pits to put on soft tires to put down a better lap to make sure he didn't fall out of Q2. So he had to start the race on soft tires.
Yeah.
So the plan would have been, because he was behind Lewis, because of that kerfluffle in turn 6, he had to save the tires for as long as he possibly could. If he was in front of Lewis, he would have gone on a 2-stop and pushed it as hard as he could before he had to come in. So, like, it completely changed the race by Lewis cheating.
You know, talk about cheating.
Lewis, I'm sorry.
Michael Massey cheated, and that's the Formula One race director. He misapplied the rules real hard with unlapping cars and the safety car. I don't mind to say it that I rewatched the race, and I with a fresh mind, clean mind, not a biased mind, I'll rewatch it today. FIA fucked up. Yeah, Lewis
they got that fully wrong.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that.
We talked about it before, James. It should have been a red at 53.
Yeah, probably.
That answers everything. It should have just been a red flag.
Yeah, that would have made for the best ending. It might have been awkward, but that's probably the only thing they could have done that would have made it better. But I don't know.
Anyways, all right,
I'm not a huge F1 fan, and we've just spent 30 minutes talking about things that aren't what we're supposed to talk about. So let's talk about some football.
Get off these IndyCars and get in some football.
Let's talk about the Premier League. Since we last spoke to you guys, we've had all of match week 16 played sans Spurs, and then we've had the majority of match week 17 played sans Manchester United and Burnley because of the Omicron outbreak that's happening in their clubs, respectively. But I'm going to quickly give you guys the scores. Quickly give you guys the scores so I can go to the table. So on Friday, we had match week 16 starting off with Brentford hosting Watford. That was my pick of the week. Brentford win that game 2-1. 2 goals very late in that game. City are hosting Wolves Saturday morning. City beat Wolves 1-0. Arsenal hosting Southampton. Arsenal win 3-0. Chelsea hosting Leeds. Get gifted a victory with 2 penalties, win 3-2 Chelsea. Liverpool are hosting Aston Villa, and Steven Gerrard's return to Anfield as Premier League manager. Liverpool win that game 1-0. Norwich hosting United. Manchester United win that 1-0. Brighton and Spurs were was postponed due to COVID and Spurs having an inability to control their players. Burnley hosting West Ham, 0-0 draw. Leicester hosting Newcastle. Leicester win 4-0, and Palace get back in the right direction, beat Everton 3-1.
Hey Sean, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Is there such thing as a captain bounce? Like when you get a new captain, does the team get a bounce?
No.
Can we talk about the most Arsenal thing ever? Hey, listen. All right, so we have this striker, and he's late to everything. So, like, we're going to not make him the captain anymore. So, who do we make the captain? Let's get the other 30-year-old striker that's leaving in 6 months, and let's give him the armband. That makes so much sense.
Let me set this up for you all, friends. What Brad is referring to is yesterday, Arsenal stripped Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang of his captaincy at Arsenal Football Club. He had been the captain for about 18 months since Granit Xhaka was stripped of the captaincy after telling the Arsenal fans to fuck off after being subbed off. How do you forget about this? Arsenal are the gift that keep giving. So if we run through Arsenal captains recently, William Gallas quit on the team. Mm-hmm. William Gallas, he's a former Chelsea player, quit on the team. Cesc Fabregas basically put in a strike to go to Barcelona. Van Persie put on a strike to go to United. Mertesacker, Vermaelen were always injured. Koscielny went on strike to leave Arsenal. Xhaka told the fans to fuck off. Got booted, and Aubameyang can't show up on time to anything. Got booted. So what happened was Aubameyang.
And Lacazette is out of contract in 3 months.
Yeah, well, Lacazette hasn't been named captain. He hasn't been named captain. He was the vice captain, so he has been filling in that role, but he's not the official captain. So we don't have an official captain at the moment. But what happened was Aubameyang got an agreement from Arsenal to fly to France to bring his mother, who is sick, back to England. The club agreed, said, hey, make sure you come back, and then on Wednesday night, report to the training center, get a COVID test so that you can train on Thursday with us. Aubameyang doesn't show up at the training center on Wednesday night. He shows up at Thursday morning for training, and he was on time for training, but he couldn't train because he hadn't had a COVID test because he'd been traveling. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Apparently, he's been late a lot. And
I mean, like, honestly, though, can you blame him? Like, he comes from Dortmund, where they're in the Champions League every single season. Gets to Arsenal, gets into Europe, like has a Champions League run, then is in Europa League, then are they in the Conference League, Sean?
No, they didn't make it.
Oh, they're not. Okay. So like, you're not in Europe. You're at the end of your career. It's like, what else can you expect from a striker like that? Like,
I don't know. He's making £350,000 a week. I expect him to score some goals.
Instead of missing that sitter that he came in on at the end of the game.
I guess we'll talk about it, but he probably would have closed that penalty today that Lacazette didn't.
It doesn't matter. Won the game. Who cares? It was actually a really well taken penalty, and Fabianski just made a really good save. It was strong and low to the side. Like, it could have been a little bit further to the corner, but Fabianski had that entire corner covered.
You don't go to the ground.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what
are you talking about, Sean?
Another move.
Well, hold on, Sean. Okay, tell me about your penalty. Tell me about your penalty saving techniques, Sean. I'm curious about this.
I always go the Andres Pirlo in the World Cup.
Andres
Pirlo.
Andres Pirlo. Okay, great. Never heard of Andres. I've never heard of Andres Pirlo.
Did I get that wrong?
Andrea.
Sorry.
Andrea.
I got one letter wrong. All right, one letter.
Typical.
All right, Andrea Pirlo. Yeah, you just
Panenka.
Just throw it right down the middle. Yep.
So this is gotta be like the weirdest week, right? Like, Tottenham's not playing and Arsenal is winning. Like, what is going on in soccer?
Arsenal's up to 4th, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. So Brad, tell me about this Chelsea Leeds game. So tell me why I shouldn't turn my nose up at this and be like, this is a bad result. Well, I mean, clearly it's not a bad result, but like this is
How's that a bad result?
It's
We
an
won.
embarrassing result for Chelsea.
How was it embarrassing? We won.
Yes, you beat Leeds 3-2 with 2 penalties,
Okay.
and then Manchester City, who is also going for the title, slap the ever-living stuffing out of Leeds.
Wait a second. Wait. Okay. So, but haven't we said on this podcast, and I think you've said it on this podcast?
Yes, of course.
Form doesn't matter when it's a rivalry game. Leeds and Chelsea is a rivalry game.
You're rivals with Leeds?
Yeah, from way back in the day.
Yes, that is a rivalry game. I agree with you.
It is a solid rivalry game from back in the day.
But, okay.
Political ideologies.
And you're proud of that?
No, but I'm saying form doesn't matter because Leeds have been shit this year. We've all said that. But for a rivalry game, everybody steps up, right?
True.
So Arsenal, Tottenham play each other. Doesn't matter what their form was for 3 weeks in a row. That's going to be a good game.
I'm 34 years old. You think 21-year-old players on Chelsea or Leeds care about a 50-year-old rivalry?
Yes, because about half of our starting lineup and a good chunk of their starting lineup came from the academy.
So, like, I think it's different, Sean. Like, if you grew up, I mean, it's weird because Leeds were like 22 years outside of the top division or something like that.
Yeah, because Leeds has been relegated for so long.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They weren't even out for that long, though.
Hasn't been a rivalry for 30 years.
Bro, they got relegated.
It hasn't been a rivalry for like 7 years.
They got relegated in like 2000 or 2002 or something like that.
They got relegated after that.
Late 90s. No, it was late 90s. Late 90s or early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, because Rio Ferdinand was on Leeds when the financial downturn went.
Brad, what year was
it?
2007.
Oh, it was more recent than I thought.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
so that's when they went to administration.
That doesn't matter. I'm talking about when they were relegated from the Premier League.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, because they had to sell off everybody.
03-04.
I think it was Nemanja Vidic also. I think they had Vidic and Rio.
Well, they sold Rio before the collapse.
Yeah, they were relegated in 03-04 with Leicester and Wolves.
Yeah. It
so
was.
most of these guys come up from the academy, and yes, it's still a big rivalry. It might be like Mets Yankees, but Mets and Yankees is still a rivalry, is it not?
Most of your players weren't born when that was a rivalry, is what I'm saying.
Their dads sat there in that rivalry. Like, no, it's still a rivalry. It still counts as a rivalry. And Tony Rudiger deserves a new contract.
But he's not going to get it.
I know, but I'm here. I'm on the Tony train. Let's get Tony some money and get him playing because 2 penalties. The second one was a little soft. It's still a foul.
So you think
the player?
You think little baby, small little teeny tiny Mason Mount, born in Portsmouth, Hampshire, England, was rooting for Chelsea?
I mean,
he's been with Chelsea since he was 6. Yeah. Yes.
Like you can make that.
I'm reading it right now. Like you think these players born all over the world? Like you're not like your local London club.
Yeah. So Kristen Pulisic, like he clearly doesn't understand it. Like Mason Mount understands it.
That's the point. All right. So maybe I picked the wrong player, but like that's what I'm saying. It's like
no, because the team culture is that we hate Leeds.
You think Rudiger cares about a Leeds Chelsea?
Yes. Did you not see his celebrations? Yes, he does care.
I don't know. I think.
We'll argue about this.
I think it's a lower. I think it's a lower tier rivalry. It's not the Manchester derby. It's not the Merseyside derby. It's not the North London derby.
Is Fulham a bigger rival of ours? Probably. But Leeds is still a rivalry.
Probably. But yeah. So
where is Leeds, by the way? I'm looking it up right now.
Look it up. Liverpool got a pretty important win. Kept pace with City and Chelsea. Beat Aston Villa. I didn't really watch much of this, but it seemed I didn't watch any of it, to be fair. But it seemed to me that Villa played well, if I'm understanding this properly, based on what I saw on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have any insight into this.
No.
Okay.
I didn't get to watch much.
You guys are never going to believe this.
Yeah.
But
Leeds is in Leeds.
Well, yeah. You didn't know that.
Hey, Hey, John, Burnley
Yeah.
is in Burnley.
No way. No way.
What do I do with these people? What do I do with them? Arsenal Southampton. I do have thoughts about this Arsenal Southampton game. Arsenal get a 3-0 victory. Arsenal looked super frail in the first 20 minutes of that game. There were multiple occasions where Southampton, if their final pass was right, they would have had players in on goal against Arsenal. So like, I think that's a flattering result for Arsenal.
You guys are never going to guess where Wolverhampton is.
I'm not going to guess. Go get another natty. Go get another Red Bull, Sean.
Please don't ruin Sean's geography lessons. This is why my wife listens to these. It's for the geography lessons.
Match I was paying attention to, I was following, was this Burnley West Ham match. So West Ham and Burnley played to a 0-0 draw. That's a big result for me as an Arsenal fan, chasing West Ham in that fourth position. Leicester slapped Newcastle 4-0. That's kind of expected, right?
Yeah, Joel was like semi excited for this game. He's like, "Look, we got the new manager bounce. We're playing well, and Leicester's form is terrible."
That's true.
I haven't texted him since the 4-0 just because I know he needs his time to mourn. But yeah, that ended up being rough because I think now he's in agreement that they will be the first trophy that they will lift will be the championship trophy next year.
I mean, they're going to need. I mean, there's rumors that they're going to sign Kieran Trippier from Atletico,
and I think they're in for Lingard or Martial.
I think they're in for anybody who can help them stay up.
Yes, and I don't think it still helps.
I think all of those contracts are like 6-month guaranteed with like an extra couple years if they don't get relegated. If they get relegated, then they can break the contract.
But back on this Newcastle thing, right? Because like technically, following the Everton model, when Everton had money come in 2016, right?
Yeah,
they could technically spend up to 800 million. Everton has spent 550 million euros in the past like 5 years before this year, before they couldn't spend anything.
They've spent a lot, dude.
But on
so like
Alex Iwobi
and Theo,
they bought Alex Iwobi for like almost 40 mil.
Right. So like, look, just because you have money, it doesn't matter if it's 320 billion or 32 billion, doesn't mean you're going to make the right decision. So we're saying if Newcastle had that same 550 million pounds and they spent that means they're up to Everton. Was Everton on the table? 14th.
12th. 14th.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's why, Sean, I don't see in 4 to 5 years, because we'll say that's 800 million. What are you going to be at? Aston Villa, Leicester?
I think you
have to assume but I think your assumption is that they're going to get more right than wrong. And I think that's a wrong assumption to make for people who don't know soccer unless they hire somebody. And everybody they've tried to hire that knows anything is like, nah, fam, I'm gonna sit this one out. They try to get an Emblo from Chelsea and Monaco fame, like built the Chelsea squad, helped like funnel into the academy and funnel those players, and then did the same thing at Monaco.
I think
he was like, nah, fam.
The big thing that you guys are forgetting is financial fair play does not apply to the youth academy. Does not apply to the facilities. Doesn't apply to any of that.
I'm with you. They can spend 800 million pounds, like they can spend 200 million pounds each year for 4 years before they have to show a profit, because it's over 5 years. And one of those years you have to show a profit, right? And that's not including commercial gains or anything like that.
No, that is just specifically towards
players.
Towards players.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So they could spend $800 million now.
And you end up at they can't. It has to be 200 each year.
But Sean, it's a rolling 5-year period. But Sean,
so what I'm saying is, like, you guys are forgetting, like, they're gonna spend a lot of money getting scouts, talent, like buying 16-year-olds that don't apply to their first team, and like upgrading those facilities. Like, the first thing I would do, you give me all those billions of dollars, is upgrade the facilities and get a new scouting director.
And how many of them do you hit on? And no scouting director wants to come. That's what I'm telling you. Like everybody they've tried to get.
Well, because football is moving away from scouting. Football is moving away from scouting. It is more analytical now than it has been. Scouting is a I don't want to say it's antiquated, but
then hire an analytics guy.
Sure,
like whatever.
But Sean, everyone's doing that. What I'm saying is everyone's doing that. And
pay them more. It doesn't count against financial fair play is what I'm telling you. They don't care.
Okay. So if hold on. Time out. If I have the option to go to Chelsea, who have a well-renowned academy, or Arsenal, who have a well-renowned academy, or Manchester United, who have a well-renowned academy, or Newcastle, who have a new academy, which academy are you choosing? Because you don't pay 16-year-olds. You don't pay 12-year-olds like you pay professional footballers. So like, how am I, unless I'm from Newcastle or from I'm the northeast of England, like why am I picking Newcastle over other clubs who are currently showing that their academy graduates are playing in their first team?
I know we had this argument already, but like if the number on the pay, like let's say that Arsenal, Chelsea, United are offering $6 million a year, and I don't know the numbers. I don't know what they get paid.
You don't pay children like that.
No, I'm talking to the analytics / scout director. Like, let's say it's $6 million. If Arsenal comes to or Newcastle comes to the table with $12 million, you don't effing consider it.
Sure, of course. Go get your bag. Like
that's where Abba goes.
Yeah, I'll sell Newcastle Oba. It's cool. Chill. Take him.
What I want before we went down this path, what I wanted to say is if they sign Trippier, would you say Martial or
Lingard,
and then they get I think they should start at the back. I think they need to go get a keeper first. Because you start with defense.
Yeah, but what goalkeeper is there in January?
You think they could get?
I mean, Willie just got picked up. Caballero just got picked up and started.
I know this is a long shot, and you guys are probably both going to say no. Do you think they can get Henderson out of United?
It depends. I think if United are committed to De Gea through the end of the season, they could get Henderson on a 6-month loan.
And I think that's where you start. I think you get one of those type keepers on a loan and start the build from there.
I mean, especially with this being a World Cup year coming up, like players are going to be desperate to play. So like fringe players who feel like they need to play and they need to prove themselves. What better place than Newcastle and get 6 months of good football at Newcastle?
That's Henderson.
Yeah,
all the way.
That's a good point, Sean.
They can pry Henderson out of United. All right, I'll shut up.
No, it's all good. Let me quickly hit the league table, just so that we get that covered, because we need to talk about it. But in first position, Manchester City's on 41 points, having played 17 games. Liverpool have only played 16 games. They've got their game tomorrow. They're on 37 points. Chelsea also have only played 16 games. They're on 36 points. Arsenal are up to fourth, having beaten West Ham United today. They've played 17 games, as has West Ham. Arsenal on 29 points. West Ham are in 28 points. Sixth position. Manchester United is on 27 points, having only played 16 games because their game was postponed on Tuesday. Spurs are on 25 points in seventh position. They have 3 games in hand. They've only played 14, so they have quite a few points that are on the table that they could get. Wolves are up to 8th on 24 points. Leicester, 22 points in 9th position. Villa, 22 points in 10th position. What, Brett? Oh, okay. I'll let you guys do that. Crystal Palace are in 11th on 20 points. Brentford are in 12th on 20 points. Brighton 13th on 20 points. Everton are in 14th on 18 points. Southampton are in 15th on 17 points. Leeds are in 16th on 16 points. Watford are in 17th place on 13 points. And in the relegation zone, we've got Burnley on 11 points, Newcastle on 10 points, and Norwich on 10 points. I will say all that because Burnley have 2 2 games in hand. They've only played 15 games. Watford, who are in 17th, have 1 game in hand. Newcastle, who are in 19th, have 1 game in hand. So things could happen. Those teams could get out of it.
All right. Well, I have an announcement to make.
What's up?
We're going to go down this path, James. I just decided.
Okay. He's pulling them out.
I have retranscribed the sheets of integrity.
Okay.
That you lost?
So we need, yes, that I lost. So these are called the sheets of unintegrity for those on YouTube. So we need to take some inventory here.
Okay.
And I am ashamed to say Brad's going to be the most right.
Right now.
Right now. As of right now. So here we are. James's pick of the top 4. Arsenal.
Hey, they're in 4th.
In this
Arsenal.
order. Wait, no. We said
It's in this
our order.
In this order. Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Leicester. So James is the most wrong out of all of us.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
All right. Here's where Brad's right and probably going to win this. We've got Chelsea, City, Pool, Liverpool, United. So he's got a pretty solid 4 right there.
So he's got Chelsea. What's his order again?
Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United.
Yeah,
he's looking pretty strong right there.
He could be right.
It's written in the stars. It's written in the stars.
I'm gonna stab you.
And then I actually wrote down some comments after mine because I made some bold statements after my 4.
Okay.
That I feel like need to be noted, especially given the current table and current form. So my 4 was Liverpool, City, United, Spurs, in quotations, Chelsea meltdown year.
I think you also picked Arsenal to finish 5th.
Arsenal 5th. Yes, I did. So
that means Chelsea are at least 6th.
Yes. Yeah. So I got that real wrong.
Who's more wrong?
So look.
Commenter, like friends of the podcast, who's more wrong, Sean or James?
Yeah,
Tell us in the comments.
Listen. So I remember this because I have so much more respect for James because he knew at the time that he made those predictions that Arsenal was not winning the league. But what did he say? Arsenal are winning the league.
Yo,
Sean, where did you put Tottenham?
4th.
Oh, you put him in the Arsene
That's
spot.
realistic. It's realistic.
You put him in the Arsene Wenger spot.
To be fair, I think that my logic for why I think Arsenal could have won the league in August is still somewhat sound. I think we're very far off. We're 12 points off. I understand that, but I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility.
No,
I think it's looking very long, but I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. Sean, there are other things on that sheet of integrity.
Hold on.
We also have Golden Boot on that.
We have Golden Boot.
Wait, before we get there, hold on. Before we get there, one more time. Didn't you also say Arsenal was going to finish above 100 points? Or you saw 100 points for them?
No, I never looked at it that deep.
Because the max they could get right now is 80.
I never looked at it.
They went out at 80.
It might be in our group text that you said, no, I see 100 points because you wanted us to predict all of our, like, how many points we would get.
100 points.
I don't think I remember saying that.
I think you did. I think we need to look back.
Brad, if you can find it in the text message, put it on Twitter.
I will.
I think best case scenario, we're high 70s. So that's why I think we're going to be around 4th.
All right, Sean, tell us who we've got for the Golden Boot.
Do you want to skip relegation?
Oh, you can do relegation. That's fine.
We're all pretty much right, so we can breeze over that pretty quickly. I'm
real wrong.
James is
real wrong.
No, he's not real wrong. He's just got one in there that's not even close. So Brad had Norwich, Burnley, Watford. It's looking
That's
good.
a possibility.
It is if Newcastle stays up.
I had the same 3. I had Norwich, Watford, Burnley, so same 3. You had Brighton, Burnley, Watford. So I would like you to explain what you had against Brighton.
Brighton were really bad last year. They've been teetering on relegation for like the last 2 seasons, and
they haven't done it.
I thought that this was the year that their luck would run out. They're a result away from 10th. Hold on.
I just want you to know.
But hold on.
Yes,
they're a result away from 10th, but they're on 20 points. Okay.
Result away from
15th.
they're not.
They're a result away from 15th.
halfway to safety already, and it's halfway
true.
to the season.
Yeah.
So they're pacing for safety.
They are pacing for safety.
Yeah.
And then we had, what do we have? We had Golden Boot.
Golden Boot, not looking so great for your boy.
All right.
So
Not looking
who do
good
you
for
want first?
either one of you.
So Brad picked Romelu Lukaku.
Not even in the top 10.
Not an awful pick though.
Where is Lukaku? Let's find out where
He's
Lukaku.
5. Yeah,
Sean
5 goals in the
picked
season.
Sean picked Harry Kane. I'll be surprised if he actually has one. If he has one goal, I'd be surprised.
If he has 1 goal, you have to eat a pickle.
I eat a pickle right now without him scoring a goal. James Mohamed Salah, who is running away with the goal.
14 goals.
And the next closest is 9.
Yeah.
I looked at that earlier today.
So
The
Brad,
next closest is Jamie Vardy, I think.
yeah, Vardy's on it. So Brad, you said you picked Lukaku, and he's on 5 goals.
That might be for the full season, including champs, or including all of our competitions that we're still
Yeah,
in.
because he's not even listed in the top 20 on the Premier League website. But do you want to know which Arsenal player has the most goals in the Premier League?
Your current club captain.
Yeah, tell me the Arsenal player that has the most goals. He has 6 without looking it up.
I know it.
Sean knows.
Because I was looking at it earlier.
Brad,
Smith Rowe?
you're picking Oba?
No, Smith Rowe.
Yeah, it is Smith Rowe.
Yeah, I'm going Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe's been a gangster.
Smith Rowe's a gangster.
It's
That's
either
true.
It's 6 or 7. 6.
6. He's on 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's tied with Mason.
Yeah. So
Hold on. We didn't talk about Mason Mount's goal. Hold on. Mason Mount had 2 great goals. His goal last week, match week 15, we didn't hit on there. And then match week 16, he had another great goal. It was actually an awesome cross from Alonso. I just want to make sure that was out there. That Mason deserves goal of the year.
Since I was listening back to a bunch of podcasts to find the sheets of integrity so I could retranscribe. Since I'm a big proponent of if you F up, you fix it. And I lost the sheets of integrity, so it was my responsibility to go back and listen and retranscribe them.
Okay.
Listening back, I told you, Brad, that Lukaku was a F up when he was at Chelsea. He goes to the Italian Farmer League or whatever they call it. He's good over there, and then you bring him back, and you think he's going to score goals. I literally said that is on recording.
He's been hurt for 6 weeks.
He's not scoring goals, which is what you hired him for.
He's not been in the team. He's been hurt for 6 weeks.
I think I called him.
Just came back to training. What?
I think I called him hot dog. I think my exact quote was hot dog water. He is hot dog water in the Premier League. He's not.
We'll see where this ends. He's going to end up with more goals than Harry Kane.
Harry Kane's probably quitting right now. Like he's probably signing his letter of resignation.
Probably should have.
Has he scored yet in the league?
I just said on the podcast I would be surprised if he scored a single goal. Honestly.
Well, he has. I'm pretty sure he has.
So, Son has 7. I'm pretty sure. He's 1. He has 1 goal.
All right.
It was probably a penalty.
Let me quickly hit match week 17, which was this midweek that's going on right now. So on Tuesday, the Brentford United game was postponed. On Tuesday, Norwich and Villa played. Villa beat Norwich 2-0. City hosting Leeds on Tuesday. City wins 7-0. And then today, on Wednesday, Brighton were hosting Wolves. Brighton get Wolves win that game 1-0. Burnley and Watford was postponed. Palace and Southampton play to a 2-2 draw. And Arsenal get a 2-0 win against West Ham. Like I said, super big game for Arsenal, taking them up to 4th. And then tomorrow, in theory, Spurs are supposed to be away to Leicester. But both Leicester and Spurs, Leicester have a COVID outbreak right now. And Spurs are just coming off of a COVID outbreak. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point tomorrow they cancel that game. I also wouldn't be surprised if they play it. But then on also tomorrow, Chelsea host Everton and Liverpool host Newcastle. Newcastle's about to have a doozy. They just got beat 4-0 by Leicester, and then they play Liverpool and then Manchester City
And then they play us, I think, after that.
Oh,
I
for
think.
real?
No, my bad. It's not us. Who do they play next?
That would be murder.
It is. It's bad for Like these games are always going to be losses. You can't. It's United. My bad. Leicester, Liverpool, City, United.
That's tough. That's a tough run.
A way to end.
But yeah, honestly, there's nothing like the most important and interesting result here, I think, is the Arsenal West Ham. That was the game that had the biggest significance, in my opinion. Arsenal, West Ham have been kind of on a rocky form recently. They haven't been as impervious as they have been. So, are you guys worried about West Ham? Do you think that West Ham will get it right? Do you think that they're going to finish in the top 6? Like, it's okay.
They're still a European team. Yeah, they're still Europe.
Yeah. I watched that entire Arsenal West Ham game.
Yeah,
and like the Arsenal goal was a worldie, and Fabianski was there too.
Are you talking about the Martinelli goal?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yes, he was there, and it just went off of his fingertips. He was right position, made the right decision, and just barely missed it, and it went in. It bounced off the post.
Yeah, I mean that was a Thierry Henry-esque goal by Martinelli.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
It was a beautiful goal, and then the tyranny, like
his volley.
Oh my gosh, Fabianski, and when they showed the replay, that had to be saved.
Oh yeah,
if he didn't save it, it was a goal.
Yeah,
and he got it. That's upper corner. He got to there.
Fabianski's a good goalkeeper.
A great goalkeeper. Great. He used to play for you guys, didn't he?
Yep. So after Jens Lehmann left Arsenal in like 07 or something like that.
Swansea.
It was him and Almunia who were fighting it out at Arsenal. Yeah. Almunia was first choice for a while, and then Fabianski displaced him. Fabianski won at least one FA Cup with Arsenal, maybe 2, if I'm not mistaken, before moving to West Ham.
But what I was gonna say is that what'd you think of that? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you think of that penalty? Because real time, I thought no penalty. Mm-hmm. And then I watched the replay and I was like, oh no, he definitely got the entirety of the shin.
So it's weird because he gets the ball, but his studs are high. But are his studs high because they go over the ball and he wins the ball? I don't know. It was really clumsy. I thought West Ham got away with quite a few clumsy challenges against Arsenal in the box throughout the match. There were quite a few that could have been penalties that, since Taylor didn't call them penalties, they weren't, like, it wasn't a clear or obvious error, but if it had gone the other way, they probably would have stood. I thought it was a little harsh, and so
to give him the second yellow.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Once you blow the whistle, you have to either call it. It was clearly not even close to the edge of the box.
Yeah. So
it either had to be a penalty or a penalty and the yellow. So he had that decision to make once he blows the whistle.
Yeah. It's probably I don't know. It seemed to be a harsh call. I mean, it was probably a foul. But it was close. It's on the edge, right? Like it's almost not a foul, but I don't know. Like
real time. I was like, he got the ball
because he did.
He did, and then you look at it and like his foot skips off the ball into the calf.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh yeah, it's probably a penalty.
Does he win the ball but win it dangerously? I don't know.
Yeah, that was my emotion. Was like, no, oh yeah.
Were you at the bar?
Yeah. The pub, if you will.
What were the Spurs fans quite upset about that result?
No, I went to a different pub. I didn't get to the Spurs pub.
Did you go to the Arsenal pub?
Fuck no.
You should go. But yeah. I think
I just am commenting on y'all's games because Spurs are apparently not going to play ever.
Well, we'll see if they play tomorrow.
I think the plan is to play tomorrow.
I think they have to.
They don't.
And then we'll find. To your question earlier, I think we'll see who. I think they have to play. If you have enough outfield players, you should.
Yeah, but
be made to
Leicester,
play.
Here's the thing,
Leicester have an
right?
active COVID outbreak. It wouldn't be for Spurs' COVID outbreak. It's because of Leicester's
it
COVID
would
outbreak.
be Leicester. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Leicester
And
have a
this
current
was-
COVID outbreak. This is going to be a cluster tomorrow.
And this was supposed to be this was the game that Tottenham were trying to push to get pushed
Yeah,
back
this-
so they can play their European game. And
Yeah.
Conte wants to play it because, of course, Conte wants a trophy, and that's the easiest trophy
It
for y'all
doesn't.
to get.
It doesn't seem like there's going to be time in the schedule for you guys to play that
Nah.
Rennes game without
So
sending
I think-
children.
So I think you're out.
Well, the question is, the problem is do Rennes have to have space in their schedule to play it? And if
They
they
go on a winter break on the 22nd. They go on the winter break in a week.
yeah, but why would you agree to play it on your winter break?
If
You're-
I-
That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't.
If I'm Rent, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm not playing on my winter break.
It
Not
doesn't-
because they were in London, and it sounds like Tottenham had enough players to play. It just wasn't
convenient.
any of the right players. You're right. And Tottenham said, no, we're not playing. And UEFA's like, well, they kind of already tried to leave for the Super League. So I think we're not playing this game. I feel like that probably played into this decision.
I don't know.
We discussed it last week. If they get a 3-0 forfeit, we do not advance.
I'm pretty sure you guys need to win to advance because
You guys need to win.
Vitesse won.
No, a draw puts us forward.
No,
Hold on.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty
Looking
sure you
at it right
guys
now.
need to win. You needed to
Because of the Vitesse result.
you needed
Because
to
of the
match Vitesse's result.
Yeah, you're right. Because of Vitesse, because Vitesse won.
Yeah, they're in 10 points.
Yeah, so we have to beat Rennes.
Which you probably would if you're playing your first team. But when will you have time to play your first team? And are you going to sacrifice a Premier League game? So it's say Rennes, they're like, yeah, we'll play it on December 24th.
I think
Would Tottenham sacrifice the Boxing Day match by sending their first team to France to play Rennes on the 24th and play a reserve squad on Boxing Day? Would you sacrifice a Premier League match to get a result in the Conference League?
I think they tried. They tried to postpone
this is
Postpone
when
what
we,
though?
this match.
I know, but that's not going to work anymore, Brad.
I know.
England's not going to give the FA is not going to give Spurs the time. The Premier League and the FA are not going to give Spurs the time to play this game. So they would have to play back to back. Essentially, it's kind of like what Liverpool did with the Super Cup a couple of years ago. They had to play their children in the Carabao Cup and the League Cup and play their first team in the Super Cup. So would Spurs be willing to play their first team, their best team, against Rennes in the Conference League with a chance to get a result to go into the knockout stage and sacrifice a Premier League game?
So
I think you do.
Maybe they sacrifice the EFL Cup against West Ham. Maybe that's what I would do.
I think you do because what are the chances of you winning the EFL Cup?
I was talking about
Decent.
this a couple weeks ago where we went.
Well, now there's some big teams in the Conference League draw now too because Europa League dropped down.
Yeah, Leicester.
So Leicester.
I was telling you guys this. We went. This is from November 7th. We went Everton right before. Then we went Leeds, Murrah, Brentford, Norwich, Leicester. So, and that's clearly this week. But then after that, we flip it and we're top heavy again, where we get all the good teams at the beginning of the half schedule. So we played a lot of good teams at the beginning of the year, which was good for us because now we're making the run and we're climbing back up because we're beating all the teams we're supposed to be beating. And we do the same thing on the other side where we go after Leicester, we go Liverpool quarterfinal, which was West Ham on the 22nd. And then we go Palace, Southampton, Watford, which is fine. That finishes out. Actually, Palace finishes. Boxing Day is the first day of the second half, right?
Not
Maybe.
really. We're at 17 games now. It's 38.
Sounds close enough to be acceptable.
Yeah.
Team.
So we start out with Southampton, Watford, and then it goes Arsenal, Chelsea, Southampton, Wolves, City, Leeds, Everton. And after that, all we have to worry about is United and Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean,
once we get City and Chelsea and Arsenal out of the way, we're chilling.
But on top of that, though, you'll have fixture congestion now because you guys have had 3 Premier League. Like, this period of games is already super congested to begin with. So tack on top of that the fact that you're going to have to find 3 more days to rearrange a fixture. There are going to be lots of midweeks where you weren't supposed to have a game that you will now have a game. So it's like it will turn into it'll be like mid-March where all the other teams are chilling for a week. All of the non-European teams are chilling for a week. And I'm assuming that you guys won't be in Europe anymore because I don't know how you're going to find time to play that game. But instead of having a chill week, you guys will have a Premier League game. And it's going to be...
What I'm saying is the advantage of that is we're getting the last hard game in that...
I see what your argument is. Is it like your last hard game of the season before United and Liverpool is in February? I get that. I hear that. It's a solid argument that your run into the end of the season is a lot more favorable than other teams. But I think it's also going to be congested. It's going to be more congested than the other teams because you have 3 matches that need to be rearranged. Yeah,
you're right. Because we go, let's say we got February 13th, Wolves, February 19th, City. So let's say that Leicester gets put in between there. That's not
a fun week anymore.
No, that's not good for us.
But dude, even if you take your Burnley game and you sprinkle your Burnley game in there, Burnley can fuck around and take a result off somebody.
We have to play kids before City. We have to play kids.
And that's the thing. And that
doesn't do that though.
That might be an FA Cup week, a midweek. I don't know. If you guys get deep in the FA Cup, that might be an FA Cup week.
Yeah, even going 16th Arsenal to 23rd of January Chelsea. If somebody gets put in between that's a rough one.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No, you have to play the kids on that game because you don't want to give up any points to either Arsenal or Chelsea.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I see your point.
It's nice that you guys are like, oh, we're only, we have 3 games in hand and we're only 4 points away from 4th. That seems good, right? And I agree with you. That is good.
That's good.
But it's going to get real congested real fast for you guys. Quickly hitting on what we've got coming up in match week 18. On Saturday morning, United are supposed to be hosting Brighton. We'll see if that game gets played. Villa are hosting Burnley. Southampton hosting Brentford. Watford hosting Palace. West Ham are hosting Norwich. Leeds are hosting Arsenal. And on Sunday, we've got Everton hosting Leicester. Wolves hosting Chelsea. Newcastle hosting Manchester City. And Spurs are hosting Liverpool. And then quickly to touch on it, next midweek, so about a week from now, we've got the Carabao Cup quarterfinals. We've got Arsenal hosting Sunderland on Tuesday, Brentford hosting Chelsea on Wednesday, Liverpool hosting Leicester, and then Spurs hosting West Ham. Those last 3 games are on Wednesday. Who do you guys have winning those quarterfinals?
Chelsea.
Okay, so you got Chelsea winning. Who are the other 3 that are winning, Brad? You got Chelsea?
I think it's
Arsenal.
Hold on.
I think it's Chelsea.
Okay, so you're taking. Okay, you got Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, or Leicester?
Leicester,
Spurs, or United, or West Ham United?
West Ham.
Okay. Sean, when you say it's chalk, that means you're taking Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and who? Spurs?
Because I think if that's the rundown, then Conte pulls the starters to make sure we can win that quarterfinal.
So you think Conte sacrifices the game against Liverpool?
Yes,
I don't.
Because it's probably a loss anyway.
That's not how Conte operates. He's not pragmatic.
He gets 11. He gets his starters, and that's his starters, and he does not. He doesn't play the kids. He does not.
Conte is going to play to win that Liverpool game. He's going to expect to win that Liverpool game. He's going to play to win it.
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think that's
welcome to the new Tottenham.
That's the Grinta game for him.
You don't get the Conte doesn't take games off. He doesn't we'll probably lose this game.
Yeah, I don't think he does this.
Sacrifice
I don't think he
somebody
does
that's
this
not-
calculations. I don't think his personality allows him to do that those competition
He thinks he
calculations.
can win it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you guys got anything?
Y'all don't beat Sunderland. I'm gonna laugh at you.
The thing is, we will play our kids in that game. It'll be like Pepe and
Pepe.
Pepe and Aubameyang. All of the outcasts at Arsenal. We might bring Willian back for that game.
I did have a funny interaction.
Dozy, is that the other one?
Dozy. He's playing for Marseille this year.
In Doozy, yeah. I the interaction with the Scottish guy I was telling you about.
Yeah,
James. So I was like, are you rooting for Arsenal? Because we were watching the West Ham Arsenal game. And I was like, are you rooting for Arsenal for Kieran Tierney? And he was like, yeah, man, it's just like a typical Scottish luck to have two world-class players and they play the same position.
Right? Their two best players. Their two best players are both left backs. It's insane.
Yeah. And they're world-class. Yeah. Both of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, I didn't even realize that.
It's so unfortunate for them.
Scotland, yeah.
All right, James.
Okay, Brad.
Pick of the week. Pick of the week for 18.
For match week 18, pick of the week. Let me look real quick. I think it has to be. It's between Southampton, Brentford, and Watford Palace, but I'm taking Southampton, Brentford.
I think you're right there.
The obvious one. Yeah. That's James' pick of the week.
All right, guys. So I will. I'm going to demarcate that. Week, and I will not watch that game. Because let's be honest, I'm probably not going to watch that game.
James's pick of the week of I will not watch it.
So, Red Car Radio heads, please watch this game and shame James when he tries to tell us that he did watch it. I need the comments blowing up with like fake things that happened in the game.
I looked down the roster and I was like, oh, this is really awesome. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. In my defense, on Saturday, I'm hosting my wife's family at the house, and we're doing some like early Christmas stuff. So I'll be smoking a turkey all morning. So you know,
I thought the next comment was going to come a whole lot different than turkey after smoking.
What do you think I was going to smoking? What?
I don't know what you were going to say, but you started out my wife's family's going to be here. I will be smoking. And then turkey was not the next word I thought you were going to say.
I'm going to be cooking food, Sean.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just saying how it came out.
This is water. Okay. It's
and this is
delicious. That's all we got for you guys tonight. That's we're a little bit long, but we had a lot to talk about. Maybe next week we won't spend 30 minutes on comments, but I make no promises. But if you are still listening and you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, like, comment, hit the sub notification bell on YouTube, giving us a 5-star comment, and left us a comment. Could you please do that now? Please let us know what you thought about this podcast, this episode. We'd really appreciate it. And we wouldn't want you to have something mal-microwaved, because your microwave is malfunctioning. But as always, this man up top with me, he is at KSBradG on Twitter. Down below, that's at Whiteheart_Sean. As always, I am at James Tiffany. We collectively are at redcard_radio. That's all on Twitter if you would like to get at us there. But until next time, guys, we'll get out of here and let you guys have a great weekend watching some football. Find a match and tell us about it. We'd love to hear from you. Good night.